think this will be a good spot. I know these people. They are pretty cool with street parking in front. They've never given me any trouble.
I mean, gonna be honest, I'm sure that's great. They are giving us the side eye, and I'm realizing, is that a fire hydrant? Are we parked on top of a fire hydrant right now?
Yeah, we're parked on top of a fire hydrant. I just thought because it's such a wide vehicle, we should go up on the curb. All the way up.
Wow, we are.
Yeah.
This RV is like suspended very high off the ground.
We are. Yeah, we're balancing. Not to brag, but I did put the RV directly on the middle of the fire hydrant, and now we're seesawing back and forth.
So what you're saying is we should not move in the RV, as we are perfectly balanced, as all good things should be. Any additional person or people or things that come into the RV are going to make us tilt, is what you're saying.
Ooh. Yeah, or if one of us move. Mike, can you make sure that your beanbag chair, it looks like it's starting to slide. Wait, Mike.
Yeah.
Mike, grab onto the railing or something.
Mike.
Grab onto the cabinet door. We're tilting. We're going to fall over.
Okay, cool. Whoa. Yeah. I'm going to slide towards the cheese nips. Hold on a second.
Mike, all of your Funko Pops fell off the shelf and hit me.
I got the cheese nips, though. This is great.
Mike, all of your Marie Funko Pops fell off the shelf and
you
hit
own
Alex.
Every Marie Funko Pop.
Almost
Marie
all,
Funko Pops.
almost all of them. I got 81 of the 82
whole
versions.
run.
I wasn't able to pick up the 2002 collectible, but I'm still on the lookout.
It was the first Funko Pop that they did. They didn't exist. They only had the one for because in my mind that was a thing in 2012 on, but they originally released. Nintendo used to be a playing card company. Funko Pop just made Marie Barone.
The John Q. Funko was a huge fan of Everybody Loves Raymond, so he made a whole line of them and made it an additional 82 kinds of specifically Marie Barone Funko Pops.
And then John Popper from Blues Traveler, when they hooked up together, because John Popper loves everything but Everybody Loves Raymond, and that's when the company really took off.
I am trapped underneath all of the Marie Funko Pops. You can only see my hand to illustrate the picture.
Yeah,
I'm in the corner of the RV.
We can see it, but thank you for doing that theater of the mind.
This is actually pretty comfortable.
Was there a knock at the door about 5 minutes ago?
Yeah, about 5 minutes ago, but...
Okay.
Yeah, we should go. Mike, do you want to get the door? I'll start digging Alex out.
Wait, why was there was a knock at the door 5 minutes ago? We just parked.
Yeah, well, I mean...
I guess they're still running to catch up to us.
Yeah, it could have just been...
Well, there's been a knock at the door every couple of 5 miles or so.
As if someone's running to keep up with us.
For the record, I am still sliding backwards. I'll go get it. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go get the door.
What the fuck? Oh
my God,
dear.
Alexa, hey.
Hey, Candy Pants.
Oh my God. I've been running for 10 miles.
I can't see. Is that Alexa?
Yes, it's Alexa.
Hi.
Alexa's
Hi,
here.
Alex.
Hi, Alexa.
Hey.
I'm under these Funko Pops.
That's cool. What the fuck? Where have you been?
Well, as you know, we were coming down Sunrise Highway, and we left that diner. What's that diner that you like, Mike? That we
the Red Apple. Red Apple.
We went from the Red Apple, and then we're gonna park here, record the show, and then we're on our way to Best Buy to buy more.
No,
Funko Pops.
the past 4 months. Where have you been?
Oh, didn't I tell you?
No.
Oh, I was... Well, so as you know, the Barone Zone was sent off into space, and the Jokers were babbled by God, and then... I told you about all that, right?
Via text?
Mike, let's give the two some alone time. Let's go shower together. Come on.
Yeah, you got it.
No, you guys can help fill her in. I have been coming home.
I mean, I'm going to be completely honest. I am shocked that, the Impractical Jokers being babbled by God was not a larger news story, to be completely honest.
I think, they had friends in high places. I think they kind of swept it under the rug.
Yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
But I've been coming home and leaving you notes. Haven't you seen them? Little sticky notes. I've been putting them on the mirrors and on the other side of the wall across from the mirror, and
I've been on my boat.
you've got a boat?
I've got a boat down east.
Well, this is a development.
Oh, you got a down Easter, Alexa?
Sure do.
Billy get that one for you too, or is he just?
He did.
He gifted everybody.
That doesn't surprise. He gave us this RV.
I know, and that's how I found out about the RV. Not your little notes.
Oh, you talked to him? How often do you talk to Billy?
Every day.
Really?
Yeah, he's my dad.
What?
Oh my god. I feel like he would
Alexa
be easier to
Joel.
contact in that case.
Well, he's your biological dad, but he
Yeah.
gave you up for adoption because he couldn't handle the pressure. But you reconnected several years. Once, what's that thing called? My DNA? What's the thing? 23andMe.
23andMe.
23andMe, Ancestry.com, one of those.
My DNA is the one that I started.
Yeah, we reconnected after I did a 23andMe. Turns out I've been living uptown. He's been living out here. It was right there the whole time.
I mean, we were going to record Everybody Loves Raymond, but I want to hear this instead.
So Billy Joel, so you did a 23andMe and you found that Billy Joel was your biological dad, and then you reconnected. I was there. That's actually the first time I met Billy. Is I was parking our car. They were meeting at the Red Apple, actually, Mike.
Oh yeah.
And that's when you still worked there. So that's you don't remember this? That's when you met Billy for the first time too, when you were a waitress there.
Well, yeah. That was way back when, before the name change. It used to be the Limbrook, now it's the Red Apple. Right. I mean, I've met Billy on numerous occasions, but I mean, he hasn't mentioned too much about daughters or he actually does take 23andMe tests on a daily basis, just because
because he's only found 22 so far.
he's got to get one more to get the whole collection. I get it. Yeah.
Because if anyone has 23 illegitimate children, it's Billy.
Yeah, I'm sure he's got more than that.
I feel like we are glossing over the fact that we.
Yeah, so I was just saying, the first time I met Billy was I was dropping her off for their tearful reunion at the Red Apple, and I was parking the car, and as I was pulling into the space, Billy drove on his motorcycle straight through our car and left a Billy-shaped hole in the middle of it, and then he just parked his motorcycle and went inside.
Super symbolic.
That's how it goes. Yeah.
Because he then went inside and filled the Billy-shaped hole.
In my heart.
Aw.
That's iconic. I feel like he should still pay for those damages, but I'm glad that that you had this. But
well, he did give her the boat.
So So Adam,
yeah.
Two questions. Number one, you just straight up did not hasn't talked to your fiance since the collapse of the Barone Zone?
That was a while ago.
I've been leaving notes at our house, which I didn't realize that she wasn't living in. And, it's been so hectic. I can't just...
Adam, you've been living in an RV park doing nothing but making episodes of Everybody Loves Raymond.
And the Joan Rogan Shakespeareans. Don't forget that. That's
okay.
my new
two
project.
Podcasts. Everybody Loves Raymond, and the Joan slogan. What was it? I didn't listen to it.
Joan's slogan: Rick Springfield. You had it right.
Oh, I can't believe I had it right.
Well, what I wanted to go home, but what I found was that the RV didn't fit in our driveway, and that's how I ended up going to the RV park in the first place. And then once I took the thing to the RV park, I couldn't exactly walk back. That's all the way out in JFK, and we live somewhere else.
We got the RV. We got the Raymond vehicle because
the recreational vehicle.
The recreational vehicle. Thank you. I forgot the official title. because we didn't have a different place to record. You have a house?
Yeah, so we've got
Yeah.
a 6-bedroom house in the Hamptons that I bought with my Pursuit of Happiness money a long time ago. And it's got a state-of-the-art studio in it, but, that's my home.
That's kind of why I was meaning to track you down. I've been on the boat. You've been here. Kind of thought you were paying the rent.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Does Adam seriously now have to live in an RV?
I guess so. I should have taken my $16 million that I got from that lawsuit and purchased the house instead of just
Giving it to Billy?
No, I was paying rent. Well, Billy does own it, but I've been paying rent for 20 years or whatever. No, that math doesn't work. For like 10 years, just because I didn't want to put the down payment down.
It's probably how he got me the boat, if you think about it.
He used the money from my rent to buy the boat. Yeah. Well, he's strapped for cash. He's got a bit of an addiction when it comes to buying vehicles. So
I do, yeah.
I was paying. Well, I did give all of my money to Billy, but he didn't credit me towards the rent. So you're saying we're homeless? Well, no.
No, because I've got a boat.
You live in the boat, which sleeps how many again?
Like half.
Yeah. Oh, I
Half of one.
think I've seen this. It's the new design where it's you're on the boat, but like if you lie down, you're kind of jet skiing because the bottom half of your body is just underwater the entire time, right?
Yeah, it's kind of like a bottomless kayak. It's more like it.
After
bottomless
the
kayak.
after the Impractical Jokers Tower, Escher went hard on water recreational vehicles, MC. So this is I've seen this. It's a very confusing structure.
Yeah.
So you're not in much
Sounds
better
cozy.
shape than I am. Do you want to
does
move
sound
into the RV?
There's too many Funko Pops in here.
Don't worry.
Listen,
we're
these
getting
are-
rid
these
of
are-
them.
No, we are not.
They're
They are
already
valuable.
on the curb, Mike.
They've been
20 years. Get them off of the curb and into this wobbly RV.
Mike,
No.
they are not valuable. They lost value the second you bought them. Kelly from the Blue Book screeched to a halt, and she said,
Yeah.
those things are worthless.
Funko Pops are like cars, Mike. The second you drive them out of the store, half value.
I got a question. You can drive
No.
Funko Pops?
Well, you
Yeah.
did.
I'd
You
like to explore that.
You drove your car into the store and had them load up the trunk with all of the Maries, and then you left.
Yeah, that is true. I did. You're right. I did buy them out of, but I figured that I'd cornered the market, and all the demand would therefore lead. I'd control the supply, and that's economics probably.
Yeah, you're big on that lately.
Yeah, sure am. Yeah, I don't know. Listen, man, I just want the Maries back. Okay.
Okay, we can
more.
give them back to you, but you've got to
Okay.
put them in a public storage.
This day just keeps getting worse.
So you're living in a jet ski, and I'm living in an RV, and
You could
Do
write a
you
song
wanna-
about this. Sorry.
do you want to write a song about it, Alex?
You can
Of
sing
course
right
I
now
do.
if you want. Yeah.
Yeah. What is it?
She's in a jet ski. I'm in an RV. And their friend Alex is with them.
Keep going.
That's all I
Fucking
got.
banger. That's great. Yeah.
It actually was a really good.
Oh, that was not bad. That was.
I think there's something there. You know,
Yeah.
we've got, so what have we got? We've got the episode. That new sound you've been looking for?
This is it.
Think-
Listen to this.
I think this is it.
All right, full song
not
coming out in a couple weeks. Stay tuned.
Well,
Well, are we still going to get, because we were fiancés last I checked. Are we still going to get married? And if we get married, are we going to live in the RV or on the jet ski?
The keyword there is word.
oh shit.
What happened now? Did you leave me a note that... Wait. Oh my god, there's a note in my lunchbox. We're already married? What?
Oh my God!
When did
Congratulations!
Congrats.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Rice.
Stop. That's my rice.
Rice.
Stop.
wow!
Funko
I don't even remember the. Ow,
That's valuable.
Adam.
You throw my rice is probably more valuable than your Funko
Not
Pops.
the limited edition Spider-Man.
This
Marie
is
Barone
limited
that you
edition
just
Spider-Man rice.
You threw Spider Marie.
I'm trying to celebrate. I don't want you to get pissed at me. I'm trying to celebrate your sticky note marriage. Okay,
Thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate.
congratulations.
Thank you. It is a sticky note, but as you can see, it's got all of the appropriate details and holographic stickers of an official marriage license in the city of Limbrook.
There's a lot of very fine print on that sticky note.
Yeah, it's very fine. Believe me.
Yeah.
Super fine.
So I guess
Did
we're
not like
married, and does that mean I can continue to live in the RV?
Yes.
Okay.
Adam, your wife is really
Yay. Yeah.
Yeah. She makes the way that the men on the Everybody Loves Raymond subreddit perceive Deborah seem like a real nightmare.
Oh wow.
chill. Yeah.
Well, now that
We
you're
haven't
here,
talked about that in a long time, and we can edit this out later, but
Yeah.
damn, occasionally I will take a look, and it's really upsetting, the things that are
Why
said
are
about
they
Deborah
so
on
horny?
that sub. Right? Oh, God.
It makes you wonder how many people listen to this show and while horny. Probably more than zero, right?
I mean, I am constantly horny while
Okay.
recording,
Well,
so
yeah.
I
Thank you,
assume.
thank you, Mike. Well, I mean, there's
well,
a
you're
reason.
looking at your Funkos in their
There's a
glass
reason
box.
we sit
Yeah.
at this super high table so that we could only see half of you.
It used to
top
be a
half.
low table, to be fair.
Yeah. Then you firehosed, and then we had to raise it.
That's gonna
Welcome
be
to
the
Everybody
title of the
Loves
episode.
Everybody Loves Raymond.
Wait, Alex, have we been recording the whole time?
Apparently, I never hit the off button after last session.
Oh my god, that's gonna
Oh,
be a nightmare
damn.
to
That's
edit.
a lot of editing.
So, are we in the show? Should we introduce the show? All right.
yeah.
We do a terrible job of introducing the show earlier than 25 minutes into a recording session.
Okay. Well, now that I'm married and Mike, what have we established here? Mike is burying himself in debt by purchasing Funko Pops, and Alex is literally buried in Funko Pops.
Still here.
My wife is Billy Joel's, my wife.
Does that mean that you're Billy Joel's son-in-law now?
I guess so.
Oh my god. I wonder if he knew.
I feel like I don't think we've ever
right.
talked about it, but he gave me this RV, and there was a little bow on the top of it.
I mean, he gave it to you. You bought it.
Technically,
yeah, no.
yeah.
My landlord gives me my house.
And he was my landlord. Oh boy. So, yeah, I'm Billy Joel's son-in-law now.
I wonder if we can get him on the show.
We've tried. He just won't stop. We haven't been able to catch him.
The RV needs to go faster.
We're working on it. I'm working on it. I just need to figure out something to trade at the RV park to get there's like a sort of like a Fast and Furious group of guys down there who trick out their RVs with nitrous oxide. And,
I saw the guy that had his RV on like monster truck wheels. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, which is it's odd. It's sort of incongruous because he only has like a pop-up little trailer, but he put it on monster truck wheels. So and he tows it with his Honda Fit. So it's his car is down here, and then it's a right triangle to go up to. You know what I'm saying? Never mind.
Yeah, I do.
I guess we should introduce the show then. This is Everybody Loves Raymond. My name is Adam Rudy. I'm here with Alex Shear.
Hey, it's me.
Mike D.
Hi, I got a Funko Pops.
He's got
Funko Pops.
I got him Funko Pops. And our very first ever guest in the Winnebago, Alexa Madison, is here. Hi, dear.
Alexa,
Hello,
I
dear.
think you were also our first guest in the Barone Zone as well. Is that correct?
I believe that's true.
2 for 2. Congratulations.
2 for 2. Season 2. Episode not 2. 2 plus 1. 3.
So close.
We are going to be talking about Season 2, Episode 3. It's called Brother. But first, let's check in with our guest. We already know how you met Ray. But have you kept in touch?
No.
Let me think.
That's fair.
Because I do watch the show at home. I go home just to watch the show. Well, I can't anymore, but I think you've been in the room when I've watched a couple of these episodes, right? One or two?
I've definitely been in the room a couple of times, but was I paying attention? No.
You're telling me you weren't sucked in by the chills and thrills of an episode of Everybody Loves Raymond?
I don't know. Brad Garrett's got the kind of voice that just it's the right frequency that it just doesn't
washes
resonate.
over.
That's actually very true. He does have a very like bedtime stories kind of voice. Yeah.
Your favorite movie, Bedtime Stories?
With Adam
Oh, and
Sandler?
yeah. They could have benefited from a Brad Garrett.
By the way,
not
have you guys seen him walking around here? The Sandman?
Adam Sandler?
Yeah, the Sandman walks around here, cargo shorts, hoodie, flip-flops, and he just sort of walks around. Have you seen him?
Yeah,
I think he has a house here.
I heard he was eternally damned to wander the plane forever in search of Raymond.
What other what other things have you been watching if not Raymond? Have you been watching any sitcoms or anything like that, or is it just like all media in general is not
soiled
happening right now? Yeah, soiled. After watching a single episode of Raymond, everything else is just crap in comparison.
That's a good question, Mike.
Well, shortly after that episode, I got the boat, so I really haven't been in tune with media. I've kind of been checked out of all local and national and global events. Sitcoms, reruns, haven't seen anything. Been watching a lot of Fish. So.
Yeah. Any interesting storylines?
I think maritime TV is its own thing, right? There's the
Sonar channel.
The Sonar channel.
Watch a lot of that.
Mostly depth stuff.
Yeah, lots of beeps and boops.
What about 4K Aquarium 10 hours? Have you been watching that?
I've been watching 4K Aquarium 24 hours, let me tell you.
Oh, that's pretty. All right. Look at that. You've just been alone at sea. I guess my question is like, what the hell is that? Like, are you... I've seen Castaway, and I know that, like, and Titanic, and things typically don't go well at sea. How have you been managing to avoid all of those disasters? Have you?
You know, I have been witness to a lot of these horrible, horrible tragedies, a lot of ferry disasters, a lot of cruises sinking, icebergs, a lot of that.
That happens.
It's so flippant.
Have I engaged? No. But just kind of let it happen. It's none of my business. You know,
I mean,
I'm
yeah,
a native New
no.
Yorker.
Yeah, no, it's not your place. It's not your place.
Long Island has a real, like, Kitty Genovese-y thing going on with cruise disasters and maritime tragedies. Is like, if you see or hear something, don't say anything, and just
We
turn
don't
your
want to
back.
know. Yeah.
Well, ever since Titanic, because what a lot of people don't know is that the Titanic, the iceberg was actually in Long Island Sound. They were a lot closer than people think to New York. But everyone
in
turned
Lynbrook
around.
just watched.
Yeah, we can't be bothered. We got Raymond to watch. No, absolutely not.
Yeah, you had Raymond
especially
to watch. Well,
considering
that was
the
back in
Titanic was in 1920, Mike.
the vaudeville show that Everybody Loves Raymond is based on.
Yeah.
Speaking of watching Raymond, that episode, I'm seeing a lot of notes on this table here about this episode.
Yeah, there are a lot of notes on this table. as you can see, folios. Some of it is mixed in with Mike's manifesto. I don't know when's the last time you saw Mike? Have you seen him in a couple weeks or?
No, I think wasn't he at like a sandwich place recently?
He was at a Starbucks bathroom where
I only get sandwiches at Starbucks.
Listen, yeah,
they can in the bathroom.
They make sandwiches in the bathroom, specifically at the end of the Flat Earth meetings, and that's what I.
Yeah, he went into the Starbucks bathroom he had an emergency, so he went into the Starbucks bathroom where he knows the code by heart, and he stumbled onto a Flat Earth meeting, and has since, in the space of all of 2 weeks, completely lost his mind.
No, I haven't lost my mind. I found it. My eyes have been opened, and once my book hits the bestseller list, you'll see that. Okay, stop putting it in quotes. It's really patronizing. I'm not a fan.
At this point, you transitioned. You re-hand wrote all of the stuff that you had written on the pages, and you're just writing it on a scroll. And you're saying it's a scroll of human skin, but I don't think it is. It looks like it's
convenient. It's convenient, okay? We all have skin. It's easy to roll. Anyway, my point is, Alexa, I think that I'd love to interview you after this podcast. Obviously, I'd love to interview you about your times at sea, because I think that could be very useful for my book.
Yeah, it's really flat out there. It's crazy.
See, what have I been telling you guys? Thank you.
But for the sea to exist, there needs to be space. You wouldn't be able to put a boat on it if it was flat. That's just a puddle. Really, it's a spill, because at least with a puddle, you've got a little bit of a dip there.
Okay.
You think the ocean is a spill?
What I think is that you're spilling nonsense out of your mouth right now, and I don't think that. Listen, I'll address this in a different. I'll address this in a chapter of the book, in the next scroll I get. Okay, I promise you this.
Incels are gonna think Mike won that argument.
Because I did. Listen. Broken clock twice a day.
Is it a deductive or inductive reasoning to say incels would think Mike won that argument, Mike thinks he won that argument, ergo?
I mean, that's just facts and logic, baby.
Yeah.
That's neither of those things. All right.
Okay. Well, why don't we take a break here, and then we'll come back and we'll discuss Season 2, Episode 3. It's called Brother, and we'll be talking about it when we come right back from this message.
Brother. Okay. I think I have a moment alone here. Adam and Mike are off doing who knows what. And I just realized I was listening to this recording, or was listening back to it, and I forgot to update you about my life and what's going on. I had some very big news about Tyrone Dickey and the mayoral campaign that I thought I would like to kind of share with you. So here it is. Alex Shear.
Mike, what I'm saying. What? Alex,
yeah.
Mike,
Alex, we need your view on this. Go ahead.
What I'm saying is that if people want more of the Barone Boys, then what they should do is go to postfund.org/donate.
Not now.
And get access to monthly bonus episodes in the Baroness Zonus.
I don't like this.
But what if they don't have that much money? How much do they have to pay?
They can pay exactly what they want. All they need is $1. You have $1, don't you, Mike?
I have several.
They can pay what they want, $1 or several.
Please,
one time, get lifetime access. There's no recurring pay. It's not a subscription. It's just a donation. And for that donation, you get sweet, sweet Baroness content. What is so hard to understand about that?
Well, I mean, I guess it just sounds too good to be true, to be perfectly honest with you. It sounds way too awesome for this to be something that I do not take advantage of. Alex,
no, keep going.
Do you have something to say?
No, keep going.
Okay.
It's fine. I wasn't doing anything.
Well, guess what?
Good.
It is true. And what you should be doing, if you're not doing anything, is going and doing that. Why are these microphones on?
Because I'm trying to tell them about...
And we're back. Welcome back to Everybody Loves Raymond. We're talking about Season 2, Episode 3. It's called brother. It's Adam, Alex, and Mike, and we're here with Alexa Madison, who is our special guest and my common law wife.
Hooray!
Hooray for the common law.
Hooray for the common law.
Common law wife.
Common law wife. What are let's go around and talk about our overall impressions of Brother here. Mike, why don't we start with you? What was your overall impression of this episode?
I mixed overall. I think that it was funny. I think that there were some moments that were relatable, but there were a lot of moments where I just kind of hated Raymond and like how he was dealing with and I just like, don't get me wrong, I know we like making fun of him and joking about how much of a bad person he is. I don't like feeling actively angry towards Raymond, and I did a couple of times in this episode. So yeah, that was my overall take.
All right, Alex.
I feel similarly to Mike. I thought this was a well done episode. It made me very uncomfortable at points. I did think it was funny. I am very sure that the emotions I felt during this episode were intentionally planned by the writers and showrunners to be the emotions they wanted me to feel. I just it was very hard to not fast forward certain parts just because of the like that awkward feeling I got when like the issues arose. But like the points when Ray and Robert were just like hanging out being brothers and there weren't issues, they felt so genuine, and it just shows an awesome relationship between the two actors. They definitely have a lot of chemistry. Adam.
Yes, I thought it was a good episode as well, or at least well done. I wonder how much of it was, like you were saying, Alex, is it's supposed to be satirical, or are we supposed to be looking at Ray with disgust and revulsion, or are we supposed to relate to him? I feel like the premise of the episode is very funny, but it is uncomfortable to see the way that it goes back and forth between Ray and Robert really getting along, and then Ray absolutely resisting any attempt to have a deeper relationship with his brother. It was weird. It's very, like, you know, it's interesting whenever they delve into the interpersonal relationships in the family at this level, because it's funny until it crosses
sad
into like a too real space.
True.
But the way that they do it is funny for sure.
We lost some audio to technical difficulties here.
I don't think it's necessarily a case of how men should act with each other. I think it's just kind of a commentary on this is how men act with each other. When they need to become intimate with another man, this is how they treat it.
That's a good way of putting it.
Do you think it's specific to Ray, or do you think it's like, this is like more of a macro, like Tim Taylor kind of, men are like rah rah rah, and women want to talk about feelings?
I think it's I really think it's like the overall thing. It's just like you with your brother. It's like you're like, oh yes, hello, feelings. But I also think just Ray has that added in like weird anxiousness that he does.
Yeah, man-childness.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was saying that I think that there was a different point to land on, because it was like, I think it's weird because I do think, like I was saying earlier, that it's there is something like beautiful and in and of itself kind of intimate about, like, yes, something awful is happening and I'm just going to exist in the same space with my friend, and we're going to do anything except talk about the bad thing that went wrong. And I don't think that's inherently unhealthy. But what I was saying was like the way that they ended it, where they crossed that bridge and they retreated back into not comfortable silence, but uncomfortable, I don't want to know you deeper. That was, I don't know, that left a bad taste in my mouth. And that was just kind of where what I was saying. Funny episode, but I thought that it ended on a very weird note.
Super funny.
So let's start going scene by scene through the episode then. Our cold open is Ray and Deborah gaming on the old Nintendo 64.
Oh, hell yeah.
And which is, nice to see, a nice Ray and Deborah couple moment.
Question for the group.
Yeah.
What game were they playing?
The only game I know is Mario Kart.
That's what I was thinking. I was thinking that, but it's got to be some sort of party game. I just don't know what else that would be.
I heard shooting, so my guess is GoldenEye, but that's just me being a huge nerd, so excuse me.
1997, fall 97, what would that be?
August 23rd, 1997, GoldenEye came out.
It could be.
It's basically the father of all shooters.
Didn't they say they bought it for the kids, though?
They could have been playing Star Fox.
I guess
they could have been playing Star Fox.
Turok, perhaps.
What's
Duke
Turok?
Nukem 64. Oh, wait, that wasn't out
Nukem.
by that point.
Conker's Bad Fur Day. That would have been a big mess up.
You got any more?
No, that's it.
No, most likely it was GoldenEye.
Probably GoldenEye, but they said they bought it for the kids. Are the kids going to want to play James Bond shoots people?
Yes.
Maybe they
Yes.
were referencing. Well, first of all, yes. Second of all, weren't they? I thought they were referencing the game system itself. But
Was making Ray horny?
no, I mean clearly, it clearly was. But yeah, I was thinking that's what they meant when they said we bought this for the kids, meaning they bought the Nintendo 64 for the children.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I don't put it past Ray buying a really inappropriate game for their kids without really looking into it.
Regardless, the act of gaming gets Ray all hot and bothered, and he starts trying to get it on with Deborah. At first, it seems like he's doing it to distract her, but then no, he seriously is like, ooh, I'm getting turned on by GoldenEye. And then as he is mounting his wife, Marie walks in looking very distraught. And then it just sort of goes to the cold open. Was there a... I might not have been looking. Was there a intro to this episode? Was there a theme
I
song?
don't think so.
Now that you mention it,
I don't really remember seeing one. Yeah.
Interesting. That's the only other time they've done that so far, I think, is the Scruples episode.
They just
where
didn't
go
have time,
straight
I
to-
guess.
I mean, this was a cold open, but it really was just the first scene.
Yeah.
They didn't really have a need for the cold open there.
The first half of the first scene. They've done that before too, which I kind of prefer. It sometimes the standalone jokes are kind of corny, but we do get one of those at the end. So yeah, I don't mind it. But we go back from the commercial break into Marie telling them that today is the 2nd anniversary of Robert's divorce. So does that mean that Robert, about this time last year, at the start of season 1, was just moving into the parents' house? That adds a lot of context, I feel like.
Is this officially 2 full years of this show traverses 2 years? No, I mean as in 2 years have passed over the course of the first 2 seasons of Raymond.
I don't think so.
Well, we're definitely in 1997 because we'll get to it, but they place it in time very specifically. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was, but either way, it's not like he was living at home. I had sort of, in my mind, he's been living at home 10 years since the divorce or something, but...
Yeah, I thought it was a much longer period of time, too.
Yeah, but apparently it's only been 2, and he is in a terrible, depressed mood, and Frank is over there yelling at him to snap out of it, and they ask, well, where's Amy? Amy's out of town on business, which, of course, Marie finds terribly selfish, and she is over there to ask Ray to go be a brother and spend an evening with Robert, and then Frank comes over, mostly to get away from Robert and then also to see if Ray, because clearly Marie and Frank planned this beforehand, to see if Ray will do it. And just their callousness at Robert's sadness shocks Deborah. And they briefly consider sending Deborah over, but for various reasons. Deborah has the very good point where she says it'll be obvious that you sent me, but Marie, of course, has to stick it to her, and she's like, well, no, she's not really family, which is super cold.
It's such a dick move. I know, but like, I also will say one of the other things that we say was like, your father's trying everything to get Robert to snap out of it. Oh yeah, what's he doing? He's just yelling at Robert to snap out of it. And so I don't know if that's genuinely Frank trying to console his child, but yeah, it's not. They're not doing good anyway. They need some help.
Yeah. They are ironically the ones being extraordinarily selfish here.
Yeah, and they end up landing on the fact that, and even Deborah agrees that Ray has to be the one to go over there. Deborah suggests that he take Robert to the movies, and then the parents go into the kitchen. Why do they go into the kitchen again? To like eat their food or something?
Marie says she's going to make him something. She has the really catty line of, "There's probably nothing here, but I'll see if I can make you something."
And then as they leave the room, Deborah mimes Ray. A good little physical comedy bit. She mimes Ray going over there so that the parents leave. And then Ray mimes, essentially he mimes good old sex. He points at himself and points at Deborah and does a little sexy dance.
Was that supposed to be sexy? I thought it was just a party move.
I think...
Mike, you weren't turned on when you saw that?
I mean... Always, anytime Ray Romano is on screen. I just didn't think this was anything special.
Oh, the table just got a little higher.
Yeah, don't worry. Sorry about that. Don't worry about it.
It'll go down.
What did you think of this scene? Did you think... what did you think about the relationship dynamics on display here that we've just described?
I'm sorry, I'm really distracted by the table.
So you know what? I'll see what. Sorry about that. I'll see.
You'll see what you can do.
Yeah, it's like a waterbed now.
Just exactly the way that we are teetering on top of the fire hydrant, the table is now teetering.
Yeah, the table is now it is balanced out and it is now the only sturdy thing in the RV.
You're welcome.
Any thoughts on this scene? No thoughts?
I'm genuinely I just boner table. That's
what a sentence.
Okay, so then we go over to Robert in the Barone's kitchen, and he's just fondling and sniffing a dog bone like you do. And Ray enters, gives him how's it going? And Robert's like, and Ray's like, yeah, and Robert's like, yeah. Apparently Shamsky went out to avoid Robert, which is a funny detail.
That is a funny detail.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I didn't piece together that was the joke. I thought it was just like, but yeah, that was funny. Yeah, that's all.
And Ray,
we can cut that.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
For like 3 minutes, Ray stretches out the process of asking Robert to go to the movies over 3 to 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It's really...
Also, never directly asks him. He says kind of, I'm going to the movies if maybe. Like, he never says the words.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want to come with, nope.
I don't know. Have you ever tried to invite a sibling to a movie? Like, it's really weird.
It is
I kind of
weird.
agree with Ray on this.
Is this not weird?
He gave a decent approach. It was valid.
Well, I think the approach of I'm going to the movies, do you want to come with me, would have been perfectly fine if he hadn't been like, I'm, maybe movies, Deborah, tired, maybe. Like, the fact that he drags it out for so long is what's...
I like the little
chilling.
detail of Robert being like, oh, what's playing? And Ray's just like, the 8:30.
Yeah.
It's just... did not think about it at all.
And I think it's endearing once Robert feels like Ray wants him to go, the way that he kind of lights up at the idea of being wanted somewhere or that somebody wants his company, because then he immediately springs up and is like, yeah, I'll go. And then they go. And we cut to after they go back to Ray's house and are getting along really well and talking about the movie and in great spirits. Apparently a pimp was hit with a manhole cover and a little guy was shooting with his arms crossed over each other, which I don't know if I've ever seen. But Ray acts it out and jumps on the table and
I was trying to figure out if this was a real movie. It's not, right? Like, he's just describing some stupid action movie, generally.
Doesn't ring a bell.
It sounds like every Rush Hour movie that's ever...
Yeah, that's exactly what it sounds like. I bet that was about the same time. I don't know. I'm Googling pimp manhole cover, but it's only giving me results around pump manhole covers. So,
and that's something different.
Save that for later.
You're interested in pumping your manhole? So Ray acts it out and he jumps on the table, and then Deborah silently enters the room, having been woken up. And I thought Ray's explanation for what he's doing of there was some shooting in this movie that we had to try was very funny.
It was, yeah. And then, I also love. Yeah. Oh yeah, I was just gonna say Patricia Heaton, does a really good job of just not saying a single freaking word, and everybody around it. I just thought it was a really good. She leaves and Robert says, she really gave it to you, even though she didn't really say a single word. And I thought that was a really, it didn't feel unnatural. It was a really good job. Yeah.
She says so much while saying nothing at all.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And Robert offers her a nonpareil. Do you know what that is?
I don't.
Nope.
It is it's the little sprinkles that are like little balls that you see on some cookies, but there's also a brand of candy called Snow Caps, which are chocolate candies covered in these little sprinkles. I'm trying, I have the Wikipedia page open, and I'm trying not to just read it verbatim, but it was introduced in the late 1920s by the Blumenthal Chocolate Company.
I've never seen any of these things before. I kind of assumed it was just like a random chocolate bar / M&M kind of thing.
But Snow Caps are specifically chocolate nonpareils, which is the use of nonpareil as a specific round flat chocolate drop with the upper surface coated with nonpareils. Isn't that interesting?
I don't know.
Well, what's weird about its appearance in the episode is that he was carrying a box of Snow Caps, it was visibly branded as Snow Caps, but for whatever reason they didn't say the word Snow Caps. Maybe a licensing thing.
He called it a nonpareil.
I mean, they had the box and it said Snow Caps, so it's I don't know.
They didn't pay for enough. So, what do you think the products this place is this show is clearly sponsored by
Canada Dry Ginger Ale.
Yeah, Canada Dry. That's clearly the main sponsor of the show. Do you think that Snow Caps just didn't get their most recent payment over, so they wouldn't do a name drop? Do you think that's what it was?
We've already got the box, but we're not going to shout you out. But anyway, Deborah silently takes a Twizzler and leaves, and then...
No, she rejects Ray's Twizzler.
Oh, she rejects?
She's too pissed at him.
Oh, thank you. So Deborah rejects any sort of candy, non-Perel or Twizzler, and then leaves. And then this prompts Robert to say, she really gave it to you. And then Ray reminisces that she looks like Ma did when she caught us eating sucrettes, which are cough drops. They're cough drops.
Okay, thank you.
And they reminisce about this incident and how Ray and Robert were eating them. They kept pace with each other, lozenge for lozenge, which is a funny line. And then they reminisce about how Ray was always doing what Robert did, which is an interesting flip, that Ray looked up to Robert at a certain point.
It's pretty typical of younger siblings, if I do say so.
And now it's Robert who resents Ray's success. So it's interesting to get a little insight into the dynamic there.
A little flip happening.
They make chocolate milk. Chocolate milk count in this show too. This is the second time we've seen someone make chocolate milk.
I have a thing about.
Yeah, I think I know exactly where you're both going, and I agree.
Alexa, go ahead.
Why did he keep the chocolate sauce on top of the fridge? Was anyone else thinking that?
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking.
not what I was thinking.
That was my thing. You guys go ahead.
Mike, were you thinking about the fact that they added the chocolate syrup first?
Yeah, what the fuck?
That's something they do every time they make chocolate milk in this series. Every single time. Chocolate syrup first, then the milk, then mix.
Now, hold on.
That's incorrect.
What? That's like putting the milk in before the cereal.
Yes.
So,
ironically...
Hold on. I'm going to disagree with you on the cereal thing, Alex. Cereal goes before the milk. But no, the milk goes in, then you add the chocolate syrup. That's how it always goes.
Yeah, Mike, I wasn't saying milk goes in before the cereal. I'm not a psychopath. Anyway...
Do you do chocolate before milk, Alexa?
Yeah, like if I was doing Hershey syrup, sponsored, I would put the chocolate first, then the milk. And then if I was doing Ovaltine, I'd put chocolate first, then the milk. And even Nesquik, chocolate first, then the milk.
You put the milk in first, then you put the chocolate in and you do the swirly.
That is so bizarre. You put the chocolate first, and then as you're pouring, you start to stir. And then
you start to stir as the chocolate goes in so that it doesn't get stuck to the bottom of the glass.
No, because if you put it in, then it gets cold immediately on impact, and then it's like...
Listen, I'm sorry to break it to you that you and Raymond have both been making chocolate milk wrong this whole time, but just...
Okay, I don't really have anything to add to that discussion, so let's move on. Yeah, so they're drinking the chocolate milk and they're reminiscing about the old days. They talk about Mrs. McCaffrey with the wooden leg. Apparently, Mike Kimmelman left her an apple and a can of lemon pledge, which seems like a hate crime.
I mean, yeah.
Little ableist there.
Just a bit, you're right.
Just a bit. But they reminisce, and Robert gets up to leave at the end of their... They have a nice discussion together. Robert gets up to leave, and he very awkwardly thanks Ray for this fun night. And then they sort of come out of the awkwardness to have an actual nice exchange, where Ray's like, it was fun, and Robert's like, thanks. And it's very touching until Ray says, I'm glad Mom and Dad thought of it. And then Robert starts to feel like it was charity, and he's very offended. And sort of storms out mad at Ray. I thought it was a funny callback how Ray shoots himself with the crossed gun hands.
That was funny.
That was a nice touch.
That was.
But same night, apparently, we go over to the Barone's house, and Robert is furiously shining all of his shoes when Ray comes over to talk.
I like that when he had to pause, he had to write down how many shoe shines he had done so he does not forget.
That made
one away from the sex number, by the way.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It was at 68.
I think it would have been funny if he had done it one more time and then put that shoe aside. It's like an unspoken joke.
Yeah.
I liked how they didn't make that a huge thing. Like it's a joke that you get if you know the character of Robert well enough to know Robert has OCD. He probably needs to buff his shoes to a specific number. So I thought I liked how they sort of had that joke in there and didn't make a huge deal out of it.
Yeah.
But Ray is apologizing for this, digression, and Marie and Frank enter. They need some tea because Marie has a sore throat. And then Frank just goes up to Robert as if he's an old man in a retirement home, and it's like, wasn't it nice of Ray to come and get you and take you somewhere?
That was deeply patronizing, was it not? It's not just me.
Yeah, no, that was not cool.
Very patronizing indeed. Marie is complaining about Robert's shoes. She's complaining about her sore throat, and Ray says she should take a Sucrets, which Robert and Ray sort of giggle about. And then I thought it was really funny how Marie, as a result of Ray and Robert eating all of them several years ago, whips out this like ring of custodian's keys and takes them out of a locked drawer in the kitchen.
It's so good.
And then Ray and Robert think it's very funny, and then Marie discovers that one is missing. Ray and Robert this whole time are cracking up about this.
Losing their minds.
Def Jam laughing about this. Frank compares Marie's sore throat to his pain in Korea, and Ray and Robert are giggling about that.
Finishing all of his lines before he says them.
Mm-hmm. And then Marie, fed up, gives the classic guilt trip line of one of these days you'll turn around and I won't be here. And then Ray, it's almost like they're high in this scene because Ray turns around, he does a little spin and he looks at her, he's like, not today. And then he and Robert basically fall out of their chairs laughing as if this is the funniest thing in the world.
I mean, to me, I saw Ray take this opportunity as like, oh, okay, Robert's laughing, I can get back in his good graces, and then he kind of rolls with it, sacrificing kind of some parental affection to kind of restore things with his brother. And I also think it's very sweet that the two of them bond by mocking their parents, because the parents bond over fucking with both of them. So it's just hostility all around, just super toxic, and it's very entertaining.
I think on its own it's fine, and it's a fun way for them to bond and connect with each other. I think Ray definitely uses it as an out of like, okay, I don't need to actually apologize. I can connect with Robert at this safe level and not actually do anything to make reparations for offending him. We go into the next scene, and Robert, he's strolling into Ray and Deborah's house in a great mood. Deborah's in the kitchen while Ray is putting the kids to bed, and Robert tells Deborah that he'd like to take Ray fishing, and he's, all excited about two guys in a boat, big cooler full of soda and peaches, and Deborah hugs him because of how really endearing his excitement is, and, it's nice to see him looking forward to spending time with his brother. And Ray comes down, and they talk. Deborah says, Robert's going to invite you to go fishing, and Ray's like, oh, that's great. And then Allie comes downstairs shortly thereafter and tells them that she had a bad dream, and Robert swoops into uncle mode, and he's, happy to put the kid back to bed, and then while he's
there's a
upstairs
great line as he walks away, which is it just says, "Hey, you get to wake up from your bad dream," as he walks up the stairs. So he still gets that classic, just depressed, fucking hates his life, Robert, in here at some point.
At his core, he is unchanged. And then while he's gone, Ray tells Deborah that he does not want to go fishing with Robert because fishing is too quiet, and Robert's going to want to talk about feelings, and he dreads the two of them being stuck on a boat together.
Ray. I almost rooted for you.
It did seem like, I actually don't know where this episode was going at first, or it didn't look like it was going to go here. But I guess there needed to be a conflict at some point. It seemed like Ray and Robert were getting along, and then now...
I thought the conflict was going to be just Robert finding out that Raymond was, forced to do the nice thing for him, and then this happened, so... And then that happened, I checked the time, and it was like, oh, there's 12 minutes left. Where the hell are they going to go from here?
Yeah. Yeah, it seemed like the conflict, they sort of latched on to or expanded on that initial resistance that Ray had to going over and spending time with Robert, and sort of blew that out into Ray just doesn't want to connect with Robert on that level. And then Robert comes back downstairs, and Ray is like, okay, let's go watch the game, and they sit on the couch, and I thought it was very funny the way they both sit down, and Ray's looking at the TV, and Robert sits and sort of turns towards Ray and looks at him. Almost like very, I don't know, like sweetly. and asks him how work is. And then,
Brad Garrett's portrayal in this scene kind of reminded me of how Patricia Heaton portrays Deborah when she like is hoping to kind of like have like just a nice talk with Ray. Like it feels very similar to that.
Yeah. And Ray starts very obviously turning the TV up louder so that they don't have to talk. And then the Hail to the Chief starts playing, and they introduce the president, and apparently the State of the Union is preempting the whatever game this is, football or what have you.
It was Knicks. It was the Knicks.
It was basketball, okay.
Yeah.
And it's preempted by the State of the Union, and not only is the State of the Union preempting this Knicks game, but it's on every single channel, which I don't know if that ever actually happened. It certainly doesn't happen now. I don't think I've ever actually watched the State of the Union. Have any of you ever watched the State of the Union?
I watched it most years. I haven't the past. I didn't last year, but yeah, typically I do.
Sometimes just the highlights. Not really that interesting.
I was in DC one year when Obama was heading to do a State of the Union. Did I watch
that
it?
must
No.
That must have been awful for traffic and everything like that.
It was pretty bad, and I was in a tour group of like 50 plus youths, so we did not make it easy at the crosswalk.
Yeah, that must have been terrible. Was the goal to see the State of the Union live? Like, did you get a shout out or?
No, we just happened to be in DC. We did not get to go to the live show, but Joe Biden did drive by at one point, which was
Did he wave to you?
The windows were up. We could only see kind of like an outline, but maybe this happened, or maybe this was like a face like that.
Maybe it was
he was doing shadow puppets for you?
Yeah, I don't know why I just didn't like in my profile. I did a shadow puppet.
That's so
I saw
funny,
Obama drive through Times Square once after he saw Hamilton, and I saw his silhouette waving in the window of his car.
Huh. Did he like it?
Yeah, he rolled down the window and he said, "It's great. Best musical I've ever seen."
Wow.
He rolls down, just starts rapping My Shot, just does a rendition.
Yeah, they pulled onto the pedestrianized part of Times Square, and he walked up the red steps at the tickets booth, and they opened up the gates, everybody flooded into that part, all the Elmos turned towards him, and he just did the whole show verbatim, a cappella. And it was great.
It's pretty impressive.
Yeah. Where are we? It was so yeah, the game is preempted by the State of the Union. It's on every channel. Reminds me of, I think it was a couple of weeks ago I talked about how one time Seinfeld was preempted by the Miracle on the Hudson, and I know how mad that made me, so I can relate.
Can I say I had a different thought, and it's awful?
Go ahead.
But when I was watching this, it said, the Knicks game has been interrupted by the State of the Union. My genuine first thought was that there was a time in which the Knicks, for the first time in a very long time, were in the NBA playoffs, and that never happens. And they cut away from it live, like it was a live game in New York City. They cut away from it to cover the O.J. Simpson car chase in LA. That's a true story. Stop. That was the end of the story. I just wanted to say. And I was just like, the Knicks always get interrupted. That's all.
Do you think they're in later seasons that Robert and Ray sit down to watch a TV and 9/11 happens?
I don't remember that episode.
I'm gonna say probably not, but how funny would they're just like, we gotta watch the Giants game. It's a very
special episode.
They do.
Yeah, the night they Ladies and gentlemen, yeah, it's 9 a.m. They wake up to watch the taped game that they taped the night before, and they sit down and wait, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. It's a rerun of the game that's being shown at 9 a.m. on this morning of 9/11, and the coverage breaks in. Ladies and gentlemen, a plane has hit the North Tower, and then fade to black, single spotlight on Ray. He gets up from the couch and walks in front of the audience.
And answers questions live about all the things
they take calls.
They do a Linda Ellerby style town hall with the audience.
They take calls from people as they're watching.
In this instance, not only are the characters of Raymond watching 9/11, this is like they're actually recording the show.
Yeah.
When it happens, yeah.
This is like they drop the characters, and then Brad Garrett and Ray Romano walk America through this tragedy.
What would be even funnier is if they knew about 9/11 moments before starting the scene, and they thought, how do we break this to the audience? And they decide to do
the game is preempted by the State of the Union.
Yeah, somehow
so
we ended up there.
State of the Union is on every channel. Robert turns the TV on, and he's like, well, now we can talk. And he tells Ray that he put more sucrets into the drawer to prank Marie.
Just a great prank, by the way.
And
Excellent
he's like
prank.
trying to bond with Ray. He's like, only we know how funny Ma and Dad are. But Ray is very actively resisting all of these attempts to sort of talk about their feelings and get close to each other. And then Robert asks this very big question. He asks, I'm thinking about this with Amy. Can I ask you a question about Amy? And he asks Ray whether he felt he had to sleep with Deborah to see whether or not he was really in love with her, and whether his feelings changed for Deborah after they had sex. And Ray is like, I thought you wanted to ask about Amy. Clearly very uncomfortable talking about his own life and his own experience.
I mean, I will say that, listen, Robert, I get you want to, bond with your brother here, but man, he came out the gate swinging.
Yeah.
Don't start with that.
Quite the jump.
It's difficult to talk about that kind of stuff with family to begin with. And then especially when it's all right, you guys just started talking. And Ray's already wanting out.
He went from how was work to I put more sucrets in the drawer to did you feel like you had to sleep with Deborah to know if you were really in love with her, which is a pretty steep progression.
Yeah.
I think.
You're not wrong at all. Holy shit.
And then Ray sort of comes out and says he doesn't like talking about this stuff with Robert, and Robert is understandably frustrated by this. He accuses Ray of never wanting to be close and, resisting all of the attempts to get close to him. And Ray gets frustrated with this, and as he often does, Ray reaches a breaking point where he gets frustrated, and he tells Robert that he was so moved by the idea of a woman as beautiful as Deborah wanting to be with him that he cried the first time they had sex, and he couldn't even look at her. And this is too much, and an awkward silence ensues. They play the awkward silence really well, I feel like.
They do.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Brad Garrett, playing Robert's mannerisms, really, really kills the awkward patting on the thighs and doing the little fists bumping up and down and looking around awkwardly. And then after a little bit, he turns the TV back on and they look at the State of the Union. They watch the State of the Union and make some small talk. President looks good. And then they turn up the volume again. This is the actual 1997 State of the Union address. Did you know that?
Oh, really? I did not.
So that means that this scene itself is taking place at 9 p.m. on February 4th, 1997.
Which means they could not have been playing GoldenEye.
Oh no! Theory debunked. Unless they time traveled.
Debunked.
Some highlights of this speech were that President Clinton discussed the International Space Station, welfare, crime, and relations with NATO and China. He focused on a detailed plan to balance the budget by 2002, and the Republican response was delivered by Oklahoma Congressman J.C. Watts. And the speech did not get national attention, the national attention it usually does, because the same evening of the speech, a verdict was given in, I shit you not, the O.J. Simpson civil trial and his ex-wife and her friend's 1994 murders.
Wow.
It all comes back.
So not only... Not only is this scene taking place at 9 p.m. on February 4th, 1997. This scene is taking place... Hold on. On February 4th, 1997, when the jury unanimously found Simpson responsible for the deaths of both Goldman and Brown. The Goldman family was awarded compensatory and punitive damages totaling $33.5 million. Wow. I had no idea about
Wow.
this.
That lines up perfectly. Wow. Holy shit.
And this scene is taking place as the OJ verdict is being delivered.
It's just like, don't get me wrong, there's so much wrong with it, but I do, like, could you imagine the fallout in the Clinton White House when they put all this work into the State of the Union and then they walk out and they check the releases and they're just like, they aired what at the same time? Like,
Wow.
they didn't hear any of it. It was also, I believe this was the Lewinsky scandal broke in 97, right? This was the last time that Bill Clinton gave a scandal-free State of the Union.
Hold on, I gotta now go to the Wikipedia page for the Lewinsky scandal. On February 4th, 1997, State of the Union, OJ verdict read, Bill Clinton is in the middle of his affair with Monica Lewinsky.
Oh, so it hasn't broken yet, but they...
It has not broken yet.
Oh, okay, so it's happening.
He actually broke it off shortly thereafter. Their last sexual encounter was in March 1997.
A month later.
Well, that's crazy.
He was shaken by the OJ verdict.
What
am I doing?
Get out of here.
Wow. So anyway, in the hot clothes, Ray spills milk in the kitchen. Yeah. So that's the 97. Yeah. Okay, so we go to the hot clothes. Ray spills some milk in the kitchen. He says, "Oh no," and all the kids say, "Oh no." Great episode.
Yeah,
It really
they just
is
make fun of him.
Overshadowed by that discovery, I have to say.
Yeah. I agree.
But let's go ahead and turn to the barometer. It's our scale from 1 to 10 on which we rate Ray on his performance as a husband, brother, son, father, particularly brother in this episode. Let's go to our dear friend Alex and have him go first and give Ray a score from 1 to 10.
Oh, thank you, Adam. You know, thinking about this, it's a tough decision because, I mean, Ray didn't kill anyone, but he certainly didn't make me happy today. So, I'd say 4. I think what he did was just overall just did not handle any situation properly here. It's definitely his worst performance in season 2 by far, at least at this point, where, kind of prompted to go over and help Robert, does not communicate anything well. He does not acknowledge the situation. He does have genuinely good conversations with his brother when they're just talking, shooting the shit, talking about just regular things, and that's awesome. Of course, he does the classic slip up. I'm glad Mom told me to hang out with you, which is just fucking mean. And then from there, like you guys were saying, I think Adam said it, getting out of his apology, through just kind of joking around about their parents. And then just after making up with Robert, just not wanting anything to do with him anymore. Just overall, real shitty feelings from Raymond this episode. So I'm going to go 4.
All right, Mike.
Less. I'm probably going to give him, I'm probably going to give him a 3. Just because, like, yeah, he made Robert feel good, but I felt like everything he did was reluctant and not really in the best interest of Robert. Like, there were 2 or 3 moments where they had good chemistry, which was great, and then he promptly ruined both of them, I think, because he was just like, hey, Mama, he dropped the mom and dad told me to hang out with you ball and then did not recover it at all. And then later on did the same kind of thing. Like I mean, because clearly Robert has to work through some stuff, and it's okay to put boundaries up, but Raymond wasn't even willing to do that. He didn't say, hey, this ain't me to talk to. He was just kind of a dick. And just, yeah, I can't really find many places to give him points on this one because everything seemed kind of forced. So maybe 3 is harsh, but I'm sticking with it. So I'm going with the 3.
All right. For me, I will say I agree with everything that's been said so far. Just the way that he refuses to even try, really, to connect with Robert at a deeper level. Not even so much his conduct as, you know, just this idea that he won't do it. Like, it's not a can't thing, really. It's a won't. He doesn't even try until he's pushed to the point of oversharing, really. So obviously they don't know how to do this. They don't know how to communicate at that level. And immediately, you know, don't do it the perfect way and so completely disengage from it and commit to only having a surface level relationship. I think the way that he refuses to respond to Robert's bids for attention and Robert's attempts to connect with him is cold. It's a dick move. It's like, you know, at least try. You know, we've seen other situations where, you know, with I Love You, he brought it up to the parents and at least tried to find a solution there. And I think a lot of times we do see Ray try to solve whatever the core, like Recovering Pessimist, he tried to solve that. But this was, you know, he did a good job bonding with Robert at that one level, but the completely shutting down the idea of bonding with him at a deeper level, it really put me off. I want to go in the pantheon of things that Ray's done. It's not the worst, so I'm going to go 3.5. And that I feel might even be a little high, but that's what I'm going to stick with. Finally, last but not least, our guest of honor.
What is the highest number on this scale?
10.
I was going to give Ray like a 6.
Whoa.
Oh, wow. All right. Why?
Well,
because I feel like Ray is just such an apathetic guy who rarely tries to bond with the people that love him. But I feel like he was there for Robert. And, you know, he did take him to the movies. And that's a big thing. You know, that's an action item. I don't know. I really feel like he tried. Or he didn't try. He didn't try. That's a lie. But,
yeah,
you know, he, as a brother, yeah, he did good. But I suppose if you're weighing in other things, he was kind of douchey to his mom. So, and he did, again, force himself on his wife. So, I'd say 5, perhaps.
well, I think that's
Okay.
a good perspective because we've, you know, seen so many different sides of Ray. So if you're coming into this, you know, only seeing a couple instances of his behavior, and this doesn't seem too bad, then maybe we are judging him. We're not judging him based on his actions in this episode. We're judging him based on the way he's performed in other episodes as compared to this. So I do think we're being harder on him because we have so much more context, and it's harder for us to be objective about it because we've seen him be really great and we've seen him be really terrible, and we know that he's capable of doing better than this. So that's probably why we rated him so low. But I think it's interesting to hear from somebody who has not ridden the ups and downs of Raymond so heavily and has an actually objective opinion about what went down today. So I think that's good. I think that makes sense. Do you have anything else to add about it?
No, I mean, I kind of really understood his perspective on things because, like, I have brothers, and granted, I'm, a lot older than my younger brothers, and so it's weird to bond, and, like, there'll be times where I'm like, you know what, I'm just gonna, Mom said take you to a movie. I'm going to take you to a movie, and then we're not going to talk about it afterwards, and we're each going to go play on our phones after the fact. We're not going to debrief or anything. And then when, we start to get a little close again, I'm like, this is a lot to handle. So that kind of resonates with me. I really don't see it being so far-fetched. But
I guess
that's a good point.
It is. It's just, it's not that it's... I guess my thinking also comes down to, like, Robert clearly needs someone, is reaching out to his brother at a time when he's really feeling down about the divorce. And, Ray basically abjectly refuses to put any effort forward to, like, meet him halfway. And that kind of brought down the scale for me. So I guess it's I'm with you in that, like, yeah, there are times when, you hang out with the sibling because mom and dad told you to, and I guess it's just like when you have a family member that needs you, I don't know, it felt weird, it felt different for me because it felt like this was a big moment for Robert, that Ray was not really respecting that.
I think we touched on it a little bit before of, like, the passivity being a comfort thing versus an avoidance thing. I think Ray is definitely showing it as an avoidance thing rather than this is just how Robert and I interact. It's more Robert is making these bids for attention and I'm actively avoiding responding to them. I think that's what we're reacting to. But again, it's like, it's always really enlightening to have an outside perspective on this because we definitely judge Ray very harshly. So, Mike, what is the average then if we're coming in at 4, 3.5, 5, and 3?
Comes out to be a 3.9 for this episode.
Ooh, not the lowest, not too high, but
definitely the lower half of ratings so far.
Lowest of season 2.
Yeah, definitely. But that's it. So Ray, you've got some work to do to get back in our good graces, but we will stick with you, and we hope all of you stick with us. Hey, go to theoldpostfund.org/donate the Baroness Zonus. Go to the forums, send us a remembrance or Judge Deborah. Follow us at Baron Zone on the social medias. Anything else to add, Mike, Alex, Alexa? Thank you.
I was going to say, Alexa, thank you so much for being here. Before you go back to see, is there anything you want us to know about? Is there anything you want us to plug? Anything like that?
Yeah, who's your boat guy?
I'm thinking I'm going to catch, like, a really big fish next week. So if you want to, like, park the RV around that area and just kind of, like, gaze out wistfully, I'll catch it and I'll hold it up like this. And
we'll give you thumbs up in response. Yeah, perfect.
Yeah, and then you can let everyone know how big you think it is from afar.
Yeah, go onto the forums.
Hold a poll. Yeah.
Let us know how big you think the fish is sight unseen. Where are you sailing these days? Port Jeff? Oyster Bay? Give me some more.
Well, tonight I'm Nantucket bound. But we did take on Diesel back in Montauk yesterday.
It's a diesel-powered jet ski?
Kayak, yes.
Jet ski kayak.
And then, well, this morning, I was in the Bell in Gardner's Bay.
Oh.
How about
so, yeah, that's the last.
You've been all around.
Been all around the sound.
Yeah, you've been everywhere. I'm impressed.
Speaking of being impressed by a sound, we hope you were impressed by our sound this week, and we'd like to invite you to come back. So I think there's only one last thing to say, and then we'll give our guests the honor of starting off our classic sign-off.
Everybody loves Raymond.
And we love you.